The befuddlement and the disappointment continues. 4-3 Cleveland over the Phillies. The Phils have now lost their fourth straight series, a season worst. But what's more, you'll recall Ben Davis, Michael Barkan, Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. You'll recall that at one point the Phillies were on pace for 114 wins, then 105, 106, then 102, now 100 wins. So they are definitely struggling over their last 12 games, 4 wins, 8 losses. Ben, when will this end?
Well, the sky isn't falling, Michael, but it just hasn't been a good run for the Phils. The bats just have really gone silent. Some home runs here and there in the series, but other than that, it's they're just not scoring runs. The pitching has been okay, but the Twins, not the Twins, the Guardians have found a way to win here, to win the series here in South Philadelphia. It's not like the way you want to see it, especially with the Yankees coming in tomorrow, but that's the way it goes. You
got Kyle Schwarber with 2 home runs. The Phillies have, you heard Tom say it just a moment ago, Phillies have scored all their home runs in this series via the home run. What does that say to you about their inability to score?
Well, I think it shows that they got to find some other ways to score. You've heard me say it 1,000 times. I equate this ball club sometimes to a 3-point shooting basketball team. If those threes are going in, that's great. But if they're not, you got to find other ways to score, backdoor picks, what have you. But this is something that the Phillies have to learn to do without the home run and win ball games. But right now, that just seems to be all or nothing for the Phils.
Let's go across the street, check in with the Hall of Famer himself. Mike Schmidt called today's game with Tom McCarthy and John Kruk. Michael, Jack, you're watching this as we are, and it's frustrating. I said befuddling because you just can't figure it out. They have a beautiful win last night and then revert to a struggle today.
Hey, an old baseball philosopher that I know with last name Barkamp.
Yeah, go ahead.
Once said, it's just the ebb and flow of the season.
Oh.
Do you remember saying that?
Yes, I do.
You said it last night.
Well, I'm just stunned to hear Mike Schmidt quote Michael Barkan. It's to stop. I'm going to the car right now. My weekend's been made. It is the ebb and flow of the season, but nonetheless, at some point, Mike, don't you say, what's going on here? Do we have the right chemistry? Do we have the right lineup? Do we have Jose Alvarado, for example? This guy is struggling big time. And if you look at his last 8 appearances, going back to July 5th, Michael Jack, 9.82 earned run average. So that hurts you. So I don't know how you get out of this type of a jam, but if you have any suggestions, I'll take them right to Dave Dombrowski.
Ebb and flow of the season. I don't know. It just everybody has down times during the baseball season. Hitters do, pitchers do. And they're constantly working on them, to try and turn things around, constantly looking at their fundamentals, looking at videos. Everybody is trying their best to win ball games. And Cleveland's a pretty decent ball club, got a great record. Just keep in mind, we always have to remember we're a little more than 8 games ahead of the team behind us in our division, so we got a little room, and it's just a good thing that we built that room because we're going through some tough times right now. Today's ball game, Schwarber really thrilled everybody in this full house. The first 2 at-bats of the game today. We just couldn't get a double with 2 men on base. We had a couple innings where we had 2 men on base. We had 1 inning where we started off men in first and second with nobody out, got nothing out of it. So we're just 1 hit away from, maybe breaking the game open until the 2 defensive plays where our third baseman and our shortstop both dove for balls and couldn't get a hold of the balls to get the runners at first, and then the Noel home run. And, aside from that home run, which tied the game at 3, Quan hits 1 to win it 4-3. So that pretty much summed up what we were watching on TV today.
Michael, you obviously know a lot about home runs, having hit 548 of them, but you have a ball club this weekend that scored all the runs via the home run. Is there anything else you'd like to see them do offensively?
Rally. Ben, in the last couple of years where we weren't that good, we always found ourselves needing home runs to score runs, and today was one of those days. But, we need to start spraying the ball around the ballpark and hitting singles, scoring runs with singles, stealing bases. all the things we used to do, when we were the best team in baseball. Not to say we're not right now, record-wise we are, but just looking at today's game, it was a home run game. Without the home runs, we don't have any runs.
Yeah, defensively as well, Mike. You look at what happened in the fourth inning, and Noel hit that home run. But meanwhile, Trey Turner struggled with the ball at shortstop. What do you think of his fielding ability?
Oh, he made a fantastic play later in the game, diving for a ball, getting up and throwing a runner out at first. Those are plays that can go either way. You give the hitter credit for hitting the ball hard. Remember, the game of baseball, this is the way it is. Either one of those balls are 6 inches to a foot. Either way, both become outs, right? And by the way, I believe it was the inning when Noel hit the home run. There was a check swing on a 2-2 count that was a strike 3, and it did not get called, which led to Noel's 3-run home runs.
Yeah.
Three-run home run.
You're right.
I don't know whether you remember that at all, but we talked about the check swing. They replayed it, and it definitely looked like a strike to me. So, couple things, game of inches, a foot, either way, and we win the ball game.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Hopefully that starts tomorrow. Last one, Mike. When you look at the last 12 games and 4 wins, 8 losses, and you realize they've been playing against teams with 500 records or better. In fact, Pittsburgh was at 500, and when they left the Phillies, they were better than 500, and it has been a struggle. I know you can only play who you can play, but what does it say, if at all, anything, about the team that they're struggling against better teams?
Yeah, and we talked about when they were running away with the division and playing the best baseball they played all year. We talked about they're beating sub 500 teams. And then we were saying you got to beat those teams. Good teams beat the teams they're supposed to beat. And then we run into this stretch of the schedule right now where we are not playing well against above 500 teams, and we're taking our lumps, no question about it. And remember, there's a team called the Yankees coming in here tomorrow night. So we better shape up pretty fast. And everything can turn around in one game. So the Yankees will have a full stadium here tomorrow night. It should be a lot of fun with the Yankees in town.
Ebb and flow of the season, Mike. Ebb and flow of the season. Ebb and flow,
baby.
You know how it goes. All right, my friend. Look forward to seeing you real soon.
Thanks,
Thank you
Michael.
so much, as always. Mike Schmidt, the legend.
Talk to you later, guys.
Talk to you later. Mike Schmidt joining us from the booth at Citizens Bank Park. And you look at this one, it's tough. The 22 straight games they're in the midst of, they played 9 of them against above 500 competition mostly. They are 3 wins, 6 losses. So they still have, 12 to go, 13 to go?
It's a little concerning.
Yeah.
I'm not good with math.
I hope none of us are when you look at what's ahead.
No, they are playing good teams. But we talked a little bit about this last night and the fact that these are good ball clubs. They find ways to win. There's a reason they have the records that they do. And they're running up against some good pitching right now as well. This bullpen that the Guardians have, there's a reason that they are the best in the American League. There's a reason that the second best in the American League is a whole ERA point behind them. That's how dominating these guys are. Virtually unhittable stuff that they're throwing out there. But Phil's just couldn't do it today. Obviously, one thing that you can take away from this series is Kyle Schwarber at the top of this lineup. He looks like he went into a little funk, especially on that road trip. But my goodness, he found something. I might text Kevin Long later on tonight and say, hey, dude, what did you do to him? Because he's a man on fire right now. So that's good to see. That's a good positive sign there. Some guys had some pitches to hit today. They just didn't take advantage of it.
Yep. And remember, 105 games into the season, there's still plenty of time left. They still have the best record in baseball. Inside the box score of a 4-3 Phillies loss. And remember, when they score 4 or more runs, they're 58-13. 3 or fewer, they're now 7-27 on the season. Schwarber, fantastic. Turner, no. Harper, no. Bohm, no. Remember, Bohm fouled a pitch off his foot or ankle yesterday, so he's been struggling a little bit. Castellanos 0 for 4. Can't Castellanos recognize that the low and away pitch is tough for him?
He's been better with it, though. He has. He definitely. I mean, where his average has come from, was it 199 at the end of May?
Yeah.
To be at right now, he's at what, 241? That means you're doing some damage. in a couple months. So, it just wasn't him today in the lineup.
All right, let's go to Rob Thomson and hear what he has to say about a tough loss today.
Seemed like a chance to be another big offensive day early. Just what were they able to do to kind of change the course of the game?
Well, we had a few chances. Yes, Schwarber swung the bat well, but they handled the middle of our lineup today. I felt like, we had them on the ropes a few times and got out of it. We just got to get back to keeping it simple and using the field and staying on pitches.
Did you think about pinch hitting JT in the ninth?
No, it was a day off.
When you say using the whole field, do you see guys getting pull happy during this?
I think so. I think at times guys try to do too much and get away from the other side of the field, and you got to stay on it. That's what good hitters do.
How much of it is maybe patience at the plate? Looks like guys are chasing a little more.
Sure,
lately.
that's all about trying to do too much.
So many pitchers this year have at least 4 pitches. We saw 6 today, 4 of them from Cleveland. Is that more difficult to prepare for? And do you think it's more useful to have that team message or individual approach there?
The one thing about using a lot of pitchers in a game, usually somebody doesn't pitch well. So, I don't think it's a preparation thing really. They just have a really good bullpen.
Or just from like a pitch type scenario, I guess they have so many offerings.
Yeah.
Is that tougher?
I think so. You get different looks and things like that. But with these guys, they watch so much tape. It's different standing in the box, but they watch a lot of tape and they're prepared.
The play before the 3-run homer, did you feel like Trey could have played that differently? Maybe
It looked like he slipped or something and couldn't get in front of it. But when the ball was hit, I was thinking double play or at least one out.
What did you think of Allard overall?
Good. He threw strikes. He went right after him, In the 4th inning there, he gets the 2 infield singles, and he tries to go up on Noel, and he kept it down in kind of his happy zone. But he pitched well. I thought his cutter was good. He threw strikes, went right after him.
I feel like you pitched into some bad luck, like the 2 infield singles before the homer and
Yeah.
some bloops too.
Yeah, no, he did. I thought he did well.
Surprising to see a lefty get to Alvarado like that.
Yeah, a little bit. It looked like he just beat him to the spot. Quan's a good hitter, really is. And Albie's been throwing the ball well. His stuff's back. He's back in the zone. He just beat him to the spot.
When you guys came home, you're looking forward to getting home after the road trip and maybe turning things around. Lost 8 of 12 now. How frustrating is it getting that it's kind of stretching out this little rough patch?
Well, we got to straighten some things out for sure, and it seems like it's the days we hit, we don't pitch. When we pitch, we don't hit. But we got to play clean games on all 3 sides of the ball and get back to winning series and get back to winning the first game of a series, which is critical.
Yep, that's when I got a sinking feeling in my stomach that it might not end the way I wanted to today. Here's Colby Allard in his Phillies debut, 26 years old. 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, a strikeout, and 63 pitches. You had said pregame, give me 5, Colby, give me 5. Failed to do it, and maybe that's part of why, if you pitched a little stronger, a little longer, maybe we wouldn't be talking about this.
Yeah, and then you have the bullpen come in, and they did a pretty darn good job today. They pitched 5 innings and just gave up the 1 run that Alvarado had there. And he was okay. Allard was okay. Obviously, he had the two infield singles, then the big blast. But this is a Guardians team that they find ways. They don't hit a lot of balls out of the ballpark. They did that today. But they find ways to win. They steal a lot of bases. They play very, very good defense. We talked about the bullpen already. But overall, I think Allard should be happy with the way he threw the baseball. 63 pitches, 48 strikes. That's filling it up.
All right, speaking of Kolby Allard to the clubhouse, here he is post-game.
Did you kind of see this as a matter of one pitch hurt you, or how did you see your outing?
Honestly, I thought I threw the ball pretty well. I was kind of getting ahead of some guys, and, obviously wish I could have that pitch back, to say the least, for sure.
Opening, it seemed like you got some pretty solid contact the first 3 innings. Did you feel like you had it working, or what was working well?
Yeah, I thought, like I said, me and Stubby were kind of getting ahead of some guys and, executing pitches pretty well, and, a few hits to start that fourth inning, and then, like I said, obviously wish I could have that 0-1 fastball back, but baseball sometimes, I guess.
What was the key to your turnaround down with Aaron Piggs, and after the rough start, you went down back to Florida, came back? What was the trick?
Yeah, I think it was just kind of, knowing and learning kind of who we are as a pitcher, and I think kind of just continuing down that road of just continuing to get better. And I think just if we can put one forward, one foot in front of the other, and continue to get better, I think that's kind of the mentality I try to keep.
Anything specific, I guess, rather than?
Change up, using the change up a little bit more, I think is something that's definitely been helping, and I think, continuing to move forward is going to help me down the road.
Being up here now, potential opportunity to start a couple of games, just like what are you hoping to show them or prove while you're up here?
The Phillies are obviously a very good team hunting for a World Series here, and anything I can kind of do to pull on my side of the rope to kind of help that occur is kind of all I want to do.